Hello everybody, E here. Welcome back to a different kind of video. This is just me not really giving excuses, but I want to tell you why I decided to go down the path that I'm going with the National Book Award winners and finalists. If you don't know, I am currently and have been for some time working on reading every single National Book Award winner. And if I can manage to fit them in before the end of my life, then I'm going to read all of the finalists as well. Before, I was trying to read all of the winners and finalists for every single year, but I decided to not do that right now because I feel like time is running out, so I want to read at least all of the winners. I should have plenty of time to do that. Here's the reason why. Very, very simply, I found out that some of my favorite books of all time that aren't Stephen King or genre related, some of them, even some of them that are genre related, they won the National Book Award. Just to name a few, I have a list over here, so pardon me looking off camera. The Joy Luck Club by Amy Chan, The House of Sand and Fog by Andre Dubois, I'm not sure. White Noise by Don DeLillo, Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell, Plain Song by Kent Haruf, Sing Unburied Sing, and Salvage the Bones by Jesmyn Ward. Jesmyn Ward is one of my favorite authors of all time, and when I finally got my hands on her entire collection of books, I noticed that there was a National Book Award sticker on Salvage the Bones. I had purchased Sing Unburied Sing brand new from a friend's recommendation, brand new, and that one ended up winning the National Book Award. But I bought it brand new right after it came out because a friend of mine said, "Hey, you got to read it," and I did have to read it. It's an amazing, affecting novel. It's very southern, and I'm starting to fall down that hill more and more as I get older, reading more southern books. Also, I just happened to read, I happened to find, a copy of Margaret Mitchell's Gone with the Wind, and fell in love with Rhett Butler and the way Margaret Mitchell wrote. Those of you who have not read the book because you're worried about, of course, the race relations and slavery and all that stuff, I would suggest that you read it because it's not anything like you think it is. Rhett Butler is a very progressive character. Yes, they are stuck during the Civil War. Yes, slavery is a thing. Yes, horrible, horrible things are mentioned in that book. But at the same time, it is nowhere near as conservative as you might think. So I read that. House of Sand and Fog is one of my favorite books of all time that I never think of. I know I've done top 20s. I know I've done all these lists, but the problem with some of these lists is I've read so many great books in my life that I still end up forgetting them. And the ones that stick with me usually are books that you guys don't care about. And that's just me being honest, because most of you are here for the horror. You guys are here for the gore, you know, most disturbing this, most horrific that kind of thing. So few of you are here, you know, for the books that I enjoy reading. And I find that hilarious, but I know why that is. Edward Lorn was a horror author. I might not have thought so myself, but everybody thought he was. Edward Lorn also is a massive Stephen King nut, and for some odd reason, people think Stephen King is a horror author. Yeah, I know. If you put monsters and madmen in your books, then people are going to automatically assume that that's the point, that you mean to horrify. That's not always the case, but I digress. The important thing that I want to get across is these books are amazing no matter who you are. The stories that they tell, if you love characters, if you love themes, if maybe you don't care too much about plot, these are the books that you should be reading. And that's what clicked for me. After seeing that National Book Award sticker on Salvage the Bones when I got the paperback copy, after seeing that sticker, that emblem of the medal, I was like, let me look some more into this. So I looked into it, and I was like, hey, look, The Joy Luck Club, House of Sand and Fog, White Noise, all these books that I had already read and absolutely loved and adored, because I love family dramas, I love sagas, I love but what I love the most is well-drawn characters that feel like you know them, whether they're good, bad, or just somewhere in the middle. Like every human being has good and bad. It I get tired of genre because villains are usually all evil. Heroes are always all good, and that's just not what humanity is. Now, is there something to be said about the comfort food aspect of genre fiction? Hell the fuck yes. Nobody loves Richard Lehman's output more than me. I absolutely adore it. I used to be a huge Bentley Little fan, huge Dean Koontz fan. These are books that I read, but they were just stepping stones for me. I'm not saying they're stepping stones for you. You can read them the rest of your life and be happy. That's fine with me. I don't care. But if you're looking for something more, if you find yourself reading Dean Koontz and going, I love these quirky characters. If you find yourself reading Stephen King and thinking that the best parts of those books isn't the death and mayhem, that the best part of those books are the characters, you need to read National Book Award winners and finalists. This is my plea to you to at least give something a try. There's magical realism, there's fantasy. Most of it is family drama. I'm not going to lie. Most of it is that, or character studies. Most of it is that, but you're going to find these other things, like Colson Whitehead's The Underground Railroad, which is another one I forgot to put on this list. That's absolutely exceptional. It's magical realism, and it either won or was nominated for the National Book Award. So much great stuff is out there with that that medallion on it. And I highly recommend it. But the reason why I'm doing it is because I feel like I'm running out of time. And as I run out of time, I need to narrow my focus onto the things that I enjoy the most. I am DNFing more books. If it hasn't already gone live, there will be a video about me DNFing certain books and why I'm DNFing those books. And it's not going to be a series or anything. I just want to give you my point of view on 2 books that I DNF, did not finish. One of them I liked, which is odd. I know, you got to watch the video to figure out why. And one of them that I absolutely hated. But yeah, I'm not going to be reading too much more of, I'll always read Stephen King, but I'm not reading Dean Koontz anymore. I'm not reading Bentley Little. I'm not reading Richard Lehman because I have read everything and they are not progressing. They are not getting better or worse. And let Dean Koontz, that could be argued, objectively it could be argued whether or not it's getting, bad or whatever. But they're not growing. And Stephen King is kind of stuck on stupid right now with the Holly situation. Love Holly. Don't get me wrong, but those last 2 books weren't Holly. They weren't. That's not what we loved about Holly. That's not what I loved about Holly, and people have been agreeing with me. But I want to read authors that are growing, not really maturing, but evolving with every single book. So I'm going to read, because the National Book Award is an award for writers by writers. I think that's where it fits with me, and why it's so special for me. There is no panel of people who do not write books doing this. This is writers giving awards to fellow writers, and I think that is very, very important. As of right now, I am reading a genre thriller. I am reading, let's see here. It does have a literary side to it, but it's Greg Iles' Mississippi Blood. That is one that is this genre book that kind of leans toward the literary. It's verbose. It's character driven, but the plot is absolutely exceptional here. So if you like plot and you like all the other stuff that I mentioned, check out Greg Iles. Check out Stephen King. Clive Barker is another great one that is far more literary than he ever will be horror or fantasy or dark fantasy or erotica or any of the stuff labels that they put on him. Clive Barker is definitely a literary fiction author. And I'm not trying to convince you to broaden your horizons. I'm not trying to tell you that what you read is dumb. None of that stuff, even though I just said Stephen King was stuck on stupid, but if you watch my reviews, you'll understand why. I'm not saying that you're an idiot because you don't like these kind of things or don't understand these kind of things. I don't understand them half the time either. All I know is that I like them. Okay? I like them. I couldn't tell you what Thomas Pynchon's books are about, but I love reading them. It's that it's art. It's art. It affects you passionately, deeply, on a core level of your being. These books nourish my soul. And I don't even believe I have a soul. But yeah, that's why I'm reading the National Book Award winners and finalists. It has nothing to do with me thinking I'm smarter than you, me thinking that that it's the only important literature there is, because there's still Pulitzer Prize, there's still Booker Awards, there's all these other awards out there that I'm not focusing on, because some of the books that I've read over there, I don't really care about. But I have not read a single, The Sojourn, these are some of the books that I have read after starting this challenge. The Sojourn, let's see here, sorry, I was looking over here because that's where my shelf is. The Tiger's Wife, I'm going to try not to look over there. Of course, the Jesmyn Ward, Don DeLillo, I read another Don DeLillo, Underworld. Review is coming for that one eventually, but I'm not putting a big priority on reviewing these, mainly because I know you guys, for the most part, do not care. Unless I'm wrong, then let me know down there in the doobly-doo. But yeah, are you at all interested in this? If you watched it this long, I'd love to hear from you if you are interested in it. If you could care less, don't bother commenting. But I want to know, are you into these types of books? If you are, let me know your favorites. There's a good question for you. You know, YouTube says if you ask a question in the video, more people will see it, more people will interact with it, so on and so forth. So I like to throw a question here at the end. What's your favorite literary fiction, or what's your favorite National Book Award winner or finalist? I think that would be cool. So I doubt I'll hear from many of you, but I'm kind of hoping you prove me wrong. But until next time, I have been E, you've been you. This has been a weird video of me just rambling and rambling. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.